Well, the Vietnam sequence has an awful lot of material going on in it. The opening scene to the Vietnam section, basically, Tom lands with Bubba. They come off the helicopter, and we follow them up and around, and there's this is like the classic Bob scene, where you're fed a lot of information and get a real sense of where you're at quickly. And he gives you, what Bob's great about is, I don't know how he can do it, he choreographs a scene where he just feeds you these little pieces just right when he wants you to have them. And he's a master at that.
Right, all right, so yeah, all right, you're showing him, let's do that. Come on out here, now bring this act out here. Right, and move this whole thing out here, and the rest of you guys are gonna be sitting around, motivating these guys.
So we come around, and these helicopters go blasting in the background. So essentially, we had, I believe, 2 or 3, the most foreground helicopters came through on that to give our camera guy the move that he needed. Then, at the same time, while they were shooting that, I had a camera that's behind, I don't know what it is, a bunker or something that's in the shot, and I'm down there with my camera, we had some other cameras, and we're shooting telephoto shots of the helicopters flying and getting different pieces of real helicopters. Then we took all of that stuff later and composited them into the shot and animated them flying through, but they're not 3D CG elements, they're real helicopters. What I think is kind of a cool beginning to this scene is we're following Tom. We was talking about all the different rain you go through in Vietnam. We come around with Tom, and it's really dark, but it wasn't dark, it was bright sun, so we made it look dark and moodier. Comes around, the rain stops, and the sun comes out. Well, we caused the sun to come out, got rid of the rain, and then that's when the tracer fire starts, because there's one brief animation where the guy in the foreground gets hit, and all hell breaks loose. We got this tracer bullet material, and basically we were shooting it at the camera to see what it looked like. See if we could even use it, the real thing. Well, we couldn't use the real thing because it went by so quick, but it gave us a sense of the feel of it and the reality of it. That was all animated in, basically, into the shots looking at the jungle, and all the stuff's flying right by your face. It's hitting, there were bullet hits on plants and things that we would line up to, so it would hit just at that moment. Boom, 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 ripping stuff apart. There's a couple of guys on a large gun that get blasted away while Gary's yelling orders to everybody, trying to get everyone to do their job. And what we did is we shot our actors on this thing blasting away, and they were wired from the back. So at a certain cue, they were jerked out of the shot. We started off by shooting a fireball element or two, some explosions, I think at different speeds, just this pyro blowing up, and I think we might have had wind kicking it up a little bit. We shot, I mean, unfortunately we didn't have quite the right materials, but we set in these pretty lame-looking dummies that we had, and also pulled them out with wires, and basically when we pulled them out, just pieces flew in the air. Then using that, we started layering in what happens to these guys, and this is essentially what split screens have come now, which is a very complicated version of what split screens were 30 years ago, which is, as the guys are shooting and they start to get pulled away, well, we start to paint in using the Inferno, basically, a high-speed compositing system, and we started bringing in the fireball effect. Well, as that comes in, you start manipulating the guys as they fly back, how much of the flame is covering them up. So you start painting some of that flame in front of them. You start using some of the dummy material where they start to come apart. So it's just a subtle moment where things are starting to move in ways they shouldn't move on human bodies. And then the flame takes over the whole thing. And it's also the quality of the characters. Even though it's like that, it really has a resonance to the audience because they can feel that quick moment where you can see these screaming faces just getting covered in this flame. It's horrifying. And then you're into this insanity. Well, that builds to the thing where there's this whole scene where they're running away, they're blasting out of there, guys are getting hit everywhere. Tom realizes he's got to go back and get Bubba.
Don't you stay here, goddammit! That's an order! I gotta find Bubba!
So he runs back. They know that Dan's calling in this napalm hit, essentially. So that scene is Tom racing towards us, carrying Bubba. Essentially, we shot a stunt guy carrying another stunt guy as Bubba, running at us from the distance. Runs a little so far, and hits like a dip in the road and kind of bobs down, gets back up. At that point, we do a morph to Tom lifting up Mykelti, except he's on this huge wire rig on this crane, essentially, because he can't carry Mykelti. So Tom's running at us, and we're painting out all the wires on that, and that's who Tom's carrying. Shoot that element. The effects guys go in, Alan Hall and his group, rig all these giant tubes of pyro material, basically in gasoline, running up towards us. And all the cameras are running, going like crazy. There it goes. We're shooting a bunch of different speeds. And here we go. Boom, boom, boom. It's coming at us. Wham, wham, wham. And the final hit, wham! It's huge. Big burning shot. It's great.
So to set this shot up, we started with a rough composite. We just sort of block in the actors in front of the pyro footage just to work out the timing of the frames. We had the first section with the stuntman, the second half we dissolved to of Tom running, and just to figure out where the original framing was going to be and where our morph transition between the stuntman and Tom Hanks was going to happen. Then up to this point, we had just been working out the timing of all the starting point of the elements in the shot. So now we had to actually rotoscope out Tom and Bubba from the scene here, and that includes all these little bushes and leaves that overlap their legs.
The jets that come flying in are all CG, 3D CG jets, and dropping the napalm, canisters is also animated in CG. And then that was back time to when they really impacted behind them.
So this is what the final composite looks like. We're bringing all the elements. We had 3 F4s. They're dropping canisters that land timed to the pyro explosion. We have our guys running our stuntman, who then transitions to Tom Hanks right there. And these guys are running. They're matted in. We're painting out the old leaves in front of the new ones there. In the end, it all looks like it all happened at the same time.
Which looks pretty cool. And it's a great shot.